What is good, people? It's Archery. Welcome back to my channel. I'm back. Season 2 of the MDL Top 8 playoff match versus my man Tay. Let's go, Tay. That's actually my guy. I'm going to leave his link in the description for all of his videos and his channel and stuff like that. So, and I'll also put the week 1 match that we had. This is actually a rematch. We played week 1. I won by the skin of my teeth. It was very close. And I will put that match in the description also. So, going into this match, I already knew that Tay picked up Magmortar in free agency, so I knew that was coming 100%. Because Toxic actually brought it versus me when he had it. He actually dropped it because he lost and Tay picked it up. So, I was totally expecting Magmortar, and I was also expecting him to go hard Trick Room with his team. So, my game plan here, I actually brought Life Orb, Dragapult, and Fungus, which is what I brought against Hub Game 3 when she was expecting me to go Trick Room. And I actually pulled that game out, like in a pretty demanding fashion. So I felt like if you brought hard Trick Room, I think that it would win me game 1 at least, and then I could try and adjust from there depending on what he does, and you know. So let's just get right into the game. As you can see, he brought Magmortar, Sableye, Marowak, Conk, Tapu Fini, and Zapdos. So I'm like, okay, hard Trick Room, sweet. I mean, except for Zapdos, obviously, but I was totally expecting him to bring at least Garchomp or something like that, but I knew he had a bad matchup against Glacier. And yeah, so as you can see, I did that pretty fast, but I brought Dragapult Fungus as the lead. I brought Silvally Water in the back. I thought Silvally Water was going to be good for me. Switch into Tapu Fini, and also a kind of a switch into Marowak and a switch into Magmortar. But I knew Magmortar gets Thunderbolt, and I think Solar Beam too. So if he like max flares, he might be able to get a Solar Beam off. Whatever, I don't know. But so yeah, he leads Magmortar, Sableye, and I knew he was gonna. This is probably a lead for Dusclops, Glacier. This kind of makes sense to me. It's like similar to what Toxic brought actually. So I kind of knew what I was doing because I learned my lesson with Toxic. So I just went hard offense with Dragapult, Fungus, and this matchup was really good for me, I think. So I ended up going for the Max Phantasm into the Magmortar, and I am Max Attack, Life Orb, Dragapult, with not a lot of speed, but a lot of HP. Enough speed to outspeed. I think it was Choice Scarf. I forget what it was, but it was like a Choice Scarf threat that potentially could have happened. I think it was Choice Scarf Fini that I was EV to outspeed, by the way. So he fakes out my Fungus, and I'm totally expecting like a flamethrower or something into the Fungus, but luckily Dragapult comes through and gets the KO onto Magmortar, and at this point I know I'm in a really good spot because whatever he comes in with here, just either Sableye dies to a hit from that, or something comes in and dies, because I still have Fungus in the field, right? So I'm thinking to myself, okay, so he's probably gonna max guard Conk here, and I'm just gonna Rage Powder just in case he tries to Will-O-Wisp me or Quash me or something like that. So I go for the Phantasm into Sableye. And I don't know, I didn't know if Airstream killed the Conk, because I'm expecting him to max guard here, which is why I attacked the Sableye. And I figured that if I got the defense drop, then Airstream would kill the turn after, because there's no way he goes for a Protect 2 turns in a row. So either I kill Sableye here and Conk protects, or either, like worst case scenario, I lose Fungus here. And I can come in with Silvally and try and do some parting shot shenanigans and stuff like that. You can see I kind of playing this out a little bit. So Sableye's actually Sash, which is very good information for me, because now I know he's not Safety Goggles, which means that I can lead Glacier Fungus or Dragapult Fungus in the future, not have to worry about burns. And I'm actually Lumberry on Glacier just for Safety Goggles Sableye, so I'm very confident in this game. So he actually doesn't protect on the Conk, but he goes for Hailstorm, and that's actually very good for me. 1, because I can switch into my Silvally. 2, he sets up Hail, which actually kills his own Sableye, which is extremely good for me. So he, I didn't know what he had in the back, but I brought in Silvally just for the parting shot shenanigans. So he brought Marowak, so he actually predicted hard Trick Room for my Glacier Slowbro thing. So I go for the Airstream into Conk. I didn't know if this kills or not, but if he double protects here, then I kill one and then kill the other one the next turn. Or, you know, if he doesn't protect on the Marowak, then I kill him with multi-attack here. But especially after Hail, if he was somehow like, I don't know what he could do to live this, but Marowak's defense is not that great, I don't think. Especially Lonely Marowak versus Silvally Water. So the Airstream doesn't get the KO, and I was kind of upset. I was kind of worried that he was going to max Dark into Dragapult, and if he was going to be like Life Orb or something like that, then that would have really sucked. But he actually Hailstorms into Dragapult, and I barely survive. I'm very, very happy at this point in time. I was expecting him to go for Dark, or like I was expecting him to be Life Orb too. At this point I have no idea what his item is. So I'm very happy that Dragapult lives, and I can just Dragon Claw the Conch. If he protects, that's fine, because then I outspeed the next turn and kill him with Dragon Claw as well. So worst case scenario, I win 2-0. Best case scenario, I win 3-0, because I can multi-attack the Marowak here, and there's no way for him to outspeed anything that I have. So kill Conch with Dragon Claw, and I finish off the Marowak with multi-attack. So also I live on 4 with or after Life Orb, I mean, so that's it's pretty good for me for the differential wise. So I actually win game 1 plus 3. So game 2, I'm like, there's no reason for me to force Trick Room here. I almost did it though. You'll see I actually almost clicked Dusclops Fungus with Glacier and Slowbro, but I decided not to. I decided to go for Dragapult Fungus again, just to try and potentially fool him out, and you know, make him bring fast mode for game 3 if I end up losing game 2. So game 1, I was actually expecting a Sableye Finny lead, because I thought it had a pretty good matchup versus what I wanted to do. I figured he would kind of anticipate that I wanted to go fast, maybe, potentially. And Finny Sableye, it wasn't really that bad of a matchup versus Dusclops Glacier anyway. So I was kind of expecting that this turn, but he actually goes for the Zapdos Finny lead. And right here I'm like, okay, well, he adjusted for sure. The Finny was actually so good for him, and you'll see why in a second here. But I'm expecting him to max Zapdos here. So I decided to target down the Finny, because I think the Finny is threatening my Dragapult the most here. But in hindsight, I totally should have targeted down that Zapdos. Because Zapdos becomes a big problem for me here in a second. You'll see what I'm talking about. So I'm expecting him to either... He's probably going to Airstream, obviously. And I was expecting him to either Dazzling Gleam or Calm Mind. And if he Calm Minds and I don't target down the Finny, then I'm in trouble. Because I won't be doing that much to Zapdos. So I figured that I needed to get rid of Finny ASAP. Finny's just the bigger threat at this point in the game. You know, so I target down the Finny slot, expecting him to max Zapdos, and he does. And yeah, this game really stressed me out. I'm actually recording this after our game, a little bit after the game, and I still have the jitters and stuff like that. So I'm sorry if I'm stuttering and stuff like that. So I go for the Phantasm into Finny. Does a lot of damage. A little bit less than I expected, honestly. I thought that it would do a little bit more, maybe put him in the red. I don't know. But he goes for the Airstream into Fungus. It brings me down to my Focus Sash. And I'm expecting a Dazzling Gleam here, considering that he went for the Airstream. But he actually Iron Defenses. And I'm like, okay, cool. So there's no offensive boost here, so I can just Rage Powder again and take out the Finny next turn, considering that he's only +1 now, since I got the defense drop, and I knew that there was no way I don't kill him here. And if he protects, then that's fine, because I can come in with Silvally and potentially go for a Rock Slide while Dragapult is still healthy. So he goes for the Airstream into Fungus, and now I'm like, okay, well, I'm kind of worried about this, because I realized that Finny outspeeds me after that Airstream. So in hindsight, I totally should have targeted down the Zapdos, because I thought he was going to Calm Mind, which means that Finny would have just been a huge threat. But he actually doesn't. He goes for Iron Defense. So, and I'm thinking to myself, well, that's really unfortunate for me, even though I kill Finny there. I have a full physical team this week. A full physical team. I have physical Dragapult. I have Glacier. I have Belly Drum Slowbro. I have physical Silvally. Like, it's not great for me. There you go. That he has Iron Defense on Finny, which actually walls a couple of my win conditions. So that's really not that great for me. So I made a mistake here. I should have max guarded on Dragapult, obviously, to try and preserve it. He goes for the Thunderbolt on the Magmortar here, if I'm not mistaken. And I totally could have just multi-attack the Magmortar here and potentially got a KO, or I could have gone for Rock Slide like I just did and got some good damage off, and potentially saved Slowbro from going down. Well, you see this turn. Sorry. So I realize now here I lost. I think I lost the turn where I lost my, I don't know. I think the lead was just really good from him, and I really don't think I had a secure way to win that game. I think that I over-predicted that he would go for Trick Room again, like the hard Trick Room lead, and I was expecting, I would just let it again just to try and scout. But it's really unfortunate because I feel like I could have won this game if I made a couple reads, if I could have made a couple better reads. So, speaking of reads, I actually make a bad one here. But it doesn't matter because, it doesn't really matter. So, because he outspeeds me with Magmortar, so I would have died here anyway. I was just expecting like a double up, or maybe like a Thunderbolt from Zapdos into Silvally, and then the Magmortar, the less powerful Thunderbolt, into Slowbro, and I had a chance to live. I don't know. I don't really know what I was doing there, but I knew I lost, so it wasn't the end of the world. So this time, I'm like, okay, well, it's now or never, so I gotta go for the Trick Room play. Because I knew that he was probably going to lead Finny something now, because the Finny lead was just so good for him. So, like I said, I expected him to lead a game 1 because it was just so good. And I'm like really confident now because I see that he auto locks what he wants to do. So I'm like, okay, I think he led the same thing. So I'm getting kind of excited now because I see the Tapu Fini Zapdos, and I'm like, okay, well, I get Trick Room up here, which is absolutely sick, unless he can't be Safety Goggles Finny because he had leftovers. So unless for some reason he has Taunt on the Zapdos, somehow, some way, he has Taunt on this, and he's Safety Goggles, and I'm in trouble. But I actually see these Yachi Berry, which is very, very good that I frisked that out. Because I don't think that kills from Glastrier. Just a regular Hailstorm into Zapdos, I don't think that kills. So he goes for the Heat Wave. Very good for me. He goes for the Iron Defense again. Very bad for me. Very bad for me. But it's okay, because I get Trick Room up and I have Speed Control, which is what lost me game 2, I think. So now I'm like, okay, so one of these mons needs to go down. He's probably going to go for a Heat Wave again. I wouldn't doubt if he maxed Zapdos here. But I just need to Rage Powder and try and get damage on this Finny so that I can potentially kill it with Glastrier later on, or Slowbro later on. And this damage is actually very useful, and you'll see why a little bit later. So, I go for the Nightshade on the Finny, and he goes for another Iron Defense, and I'm like, okay, well, now I just have to spam Nightshade onto this thing, or else I'm just never going to KO it, so. He goes for the Heat Wave onto my Dusclops and Fungus, and he takes out my Fungus, so I'm like, okay, well, I'm going into Glastrier, it's now or never, so I knew he doesn't do anything to me with Finny, and I was expecting him to max Finny here, because I targeted down Finny last time, so I just Helping Hand Hailstormed into the Zapdos, knowing there's Yachi, and I know Helping Hand Hailstorm definitely kills Zapdos if it's not maxed. So, if he maxes Zapdos here, it's not the end of the world. I don't take any damage from this Finny at all, and I can try and get some Quake boosts on it if I kill a Zapdos here. So, the deal here is I'm pretty much just ignoring the Finny, because the Finny does not threaten my 2 Pokemon out on the field at all, like at all. Glastrier is super bulky, and I have some special defense investment. I just kind of stumbled over my own words, sorry. Like, the jitters were still in me. Oh my gosh, this game was so important. So, he maxes Finny, which I kind of expected. But I figured he would max something here. I didn't know what. So, I see that the Yachi Berry is there, like I saw from the Frisk. Dusclops is so good, by the way. So good. So, I take out the Zapdos here. And I was expecting a Geyser or a Starfall into the Dusclops. Trying to kill my Dusclops and bring in something like Marowak or Conch to kill my Glastrier. So he actually goes into my Glastrier, which is actually pretty smart on him. He needs this damage for sure. But even if he sets up the rain, it's okay. I can just continue to Hailstorm. I'm Hailstorming whatever's in that slot over there. because I can just Nightshade, Hailstorm, the Conch slot, and KO whatever comes in. Or if he protects and I get a really, really big damage off and I'm wasting a turn of his Dynamax because I still have Trick Room up. So I'm actually expecting a Mach Punch Geyser into Glacier, and I think that's like a very good play on his part if he actually does that. So I'm like, okay, well I need to kill this thing ASAP, so I'm doubling it down. But after I click that, that's when I realized, like, oh, well I just kill whatever's on his team, whatever comes in. So he switches out Conch and Magmortar comes in. I'm like, okay. So I'm in a very, very, very good position here. I Nightshade, brings him down to like 75, I think. And I'm +1, and I know for sure Hailstorm kills here. Like, there's no way it doesn't, right? Could you imagine if I Quake there? Oh my gosh, that would have been so good for me. But I just, there's no way. I thought Conch was just going to Mach Punch me. So, I get the +1 boost. So I'm very, very, so I'm +2 right now, actually, with Glacier. And I am very, very happy right now with how this game is going. And I know that I have Belly Drum Slowbro on the back, so as long as he gets a little bit of damage on him on the Finny, I can win with Slowbro Dusclops, because he's not even focusing the Dusclops, right? So I'm like, okay, well if he has Mach Punch here, then he'll reveal it. So, but I also didn't know what his item was, so I was like, I don't really know what I want to do here. I think I end up Helping Hand. I Helping Hand Hailstorm the Conch slot. Expecting, like, this is just a cover for the protect option. I think that the Nightshade into Finny would have been better, but it's really not that much damage, and I wanted to cover for protect so that when I go out of Trick Room next turn, that Conch doesn't just destroy me and I can focus on the Finny. So I made the safe play here, not the best play, but the safer play, which is Helping Hand covering for the protect. So I'm +3. And I am crossing my fingers that Glacier lives here, because if it does, I get a free Nightshade onto the top of Finny, and it actually doesn't. So that's really unfortunate, and he gets the Rain back up, which is also really unfortunate, because now his Surfs or Muddy Waters or Scalds or whatever he wants to go for are actually boosted. But it's actually decent for me because I have Slowbro in the back who resists water. So I'm very nervous right now, very nervous, because if he gets crits or if he starts moonblasting my Slowbro or something along those lines, I am like in trouble. So I'm actually considering going for the protect on Slowbro and Trick Rooming here, assuming you probably go for a moonblast into it. But I actually go for I'm going for the aggressive play, expecting a Dazzling Gleam or something, so he actually goes for Muddy Water. Unfortunate for him, he actually misses on the Dusclops, but it ends up not even mattering. If he got an accuracy drop there, then there's something to worry about, because you'll see in a second. But I get the Belly Drum off, and I eat my Citrus Berry. I have a little bit of special defense, investment on this Slowbro. I took it out of attack and everything just to try and cover for some shenanigans and stuff like that. So I end up actually just going for the play. I almost Trick Room here, Trick Room Protect, which actually would have been the right play, but I couldn't risk him KOing my Dusclops with a crit or something like that. So I just go for the play, and I'm like, you know what happens, happens, and if I lose, then I lose. So he goes for the Moonblast, and I barely live, so that special investment is actually coming in clutch. And all I need to do is hit this Zen Headbutt right here, and I win the game and I actually hit it. So GG to Tay. Like I said before, if he got an accuracy drop with the Muddy Water, then this game could have been completely different. But if he got the accuracy drop, I think I would have been more inclined to just protect and go for Trick Room in the first place, just to ensure that I can continue to Nightshade. And he had to kind of deal with that. But I think he actually wins that if I miss that Zen Headbutt right there. So the fact that I was in such a good position with Glacier, and then he brings it back with his prep, it's just so impressive to me. Please go check out my man Tay's channel. GG to him. I prepped really hard for this match. I spent a long time. I actually had a bye week because I had a first round bye, considering I was the 3rd seed, and 1, 2, 3 gets a bye, and while 4 and 5 play each other. So, this game was like super fun to play. Like I said, I'm still like shaking a little bit. I'm very proud of myself. I was actually ranked. I think I was ranked 11th in the original power rankings, and I'm actually top 4 right now. So it's kind of a I think I said this in the beginning of my uploads, that people ranked me low and I knew that I could play better than what they ranked me. And I think now this is showing that I actually can. And I think I actually proved myself by beating one of the better players in this league, which is actually Tay, with a very, very, very scary team. So now, as I'm recording this match, I think that Izzy Max and Ryan still haven't played yet, and I play the winner of those, and as I advance to top 4. So I will let you guys go now. I am going to try and look at my matchups for next week. I'm pretty nervous about both of them. They both got the best of me this regular season. They both beat me. Those are 2 of my 3 losses this season, and they're both extremely talented players. So thanks for watching, guys. I really appreciate it. I actually got a new PC, so if the video is crisp, let me know, please. It'll actually make me feel so good if the video quality is actually better. I can't actually tell, even though I recorded it in 1080 instead of 720, you know. So I appreciate you guys watching. Please like and subscribe if you guys are new. And GG to Tay one more time, and I will catch you guys in the next one. Peace.